My name is Bridget Reeves, and I serve as the Associate Executive Director at the Lighthouse Mission. And I'm here to tell you the story of moving the Drop-In Center from Holly Street up to Bellingham High School in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. It all started on Saturday, March 14th. It was an evening when I received a call from the Whatcom County Health Department that there was somebody that had been experiencing homelessness in the community that was now pending test results. And the health department called to ask if we had space to take them in and quarantine them down at the mission. And though we had done some work in our recovery programs, both Agape and Ascent, to make sure there was space for residents of those programs, we hadn't yet come to a solution yet for our Drop-In Center program, which really receives people right off the streets, which is where this person would go. And so I told the health department, tonight we don't have a solution for tonight, but let's meet tomorrow morning. And so they were able to work along with us, with the hospital and other community partners to figure out a space for this person for tonight. And then we scheduled a meeting for 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. And so I called my boss, Hans Erchinger Davis, the executive director of the mission. And then I called our liaison with the city of Bellingham. They've been amazing partners in creative problem solving and solutions there. And so we all met Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on a day when most people usually are not working. We came in and we had this meeting. It became clear very quickly that the Drop-In Center as a facility right now was not going to be sufficient for social distancing and quarantining people and isolating them during these COVID-19 times. And so it became clear we needed another space. The alternative to that, to finding another space, was to send over 100 people out to the streets in order to social distance folks inside the facility. And that not only is not good for the rest of the community, but it's not justice for those people either. They no longer have safe shelter, access to food, access to case managers and services, and to the many supports that are there at the Drop-In Center itself. And so it became clear for the whole community that something needed to happen. And that morning on Sunday, some ideas started to be thrown around about, what about the schools? Schools have large gyms, they've got common areas, cafeteria space that people could social distance in, they had outdoor space, and the schools had just been closed the Friday before. So what if? And so that Sunday, plans started to be made, phone calls started to happen, and the ball started rolling to get this process going. Monday, we visited Bellingham High School and we met with the school district that day. Other community partners came together, the community paramedics, the GRACE team, and the city, and Unified Command and the health department all came together to say, would this work? We toured the facility and it seemed like there was sufficient space in the gym, there was sufficient space for showers and bathroom usage and the common areas and outdoor space. And so next steps started to happen. Agreements started to be written up, contracts started to be made. People were working about 12-hour days in order to make this happen because there was urgency to this. There was the need with COVID-19 continuing to ramp up. And though that initial person that started this conversation ended up being negative in their test results, the conversation still went because we knew eventually we needed to make sure that we were proactive in this so that there were no positive results. And so the ball kept rolling that week, and on Thursday evening, we got word from Unified Command that it was a go, that the following day, that Friday, we were going to be able to move the Drop-In Center to Bellingham High School. And so that Thursday evening, we told our Drop-In Center guests that in 24 hours, they would not be checking in at the Drop-In Center on Holly Street, but instead be checking in at Bellingham High School. And so for people that are in the midst of crisis, that's a lot to take in, that's suddenly being upended, and our Drop-In Center staff really walked with people through that and encourage them that this was a proactive step. This was not in response to somebody being positive or a need to socially distance because of the need to isolate because we have a bunch of positive cases or anything like that. There was not an outbreak there, but this is proactive so that none of that ever happened. And so they stepped up, the community was stepping up. On Friday morning at 9 a.m., Public Works from the city showed up to help transport the mats and other materials up to Bellingham High School for us to be ready to shelter folks that night. And so they came at 9 a.m. Staff showed up at Bellingham High School to start setting up shelter with all the materials. They set up a makeshift front desk area, got first aid set up. They set up the gym area, a staff space, common space. We figured out who would serve food and everything, and all of those things were worked out. That Friday evening, WTA showed up to transport the people side of things. And so rather than having 150, 170 people make this walk all the way to Bellingham High School. WTA showed up with 3 buses and 2 vehicles to transport folks up to Bellingham High. And it took about 15 trips or so to do that, because we were transporting people and their luggage and socially distancing on the buses and having staff on buses. And it was this whole thing. And it was amazing to see how many people in the community came together to make this happen on behalf of folks at the Drop-In Center. I got to serve breakfast there on that Saturday morning. And as I was serving breakfast, 12 hours into us being at Bellingham High, I was asking the question, how was last night? How did it go? How'd you sleep? And the responses I got from folks was that they slept wonderfully, that it was calm, that it was quiet, the space was clean and wonderful, and the number of bathroom stalls was much greater than at the current Drop-In Center, and there was more outdoor space and more common space, and people could socially distance, they had space to themselves. And they were amazed with the community. And Bellingham High School and Bellingham School District from the beginning spoke with us about how this is community space. And these people at the Drop-In Center, they are our neighbors. They are also part of our community as well. And so their generosity was amazing to us as a staff and amazing to folks staying at the Drop-In Center itself. So I want to say thank you to all of those partners that have continued to invest in and walk alongside us in this whole journey. We've been there now for over a month, and it continues to be an amazing effort on behalf of the entire community to make this happen. Thank you.